So let's talk about limits. We like to be able to talk about anything we want, and we kind of have the word to explain everything. That's what language is good at. But just because we can express ourselves doesn't mean that we should. There are a lot of topics we are learned to be careful of and words we should avoid. Such as Vernie, we are using a lot of them today, so if you are not in the mood for some swearing across a lot of different language, this might not be the best episode for you. But for the rest of you, I am Moti Lieberman and this is the Linguist. So, like I said in the episode, we are going to be about saying and showing a number of explicit swear words in English and other languages. If that's not something you feel comfortable with, we will have a clean summary of the linguistics behind it and our Tumblr, so check out the link in the descriptions below. But you should probably stop watching now. Okay, so no matter what culture you look at, there is always some standard for how to behave as a proper person's way of talking with people to show you respect both them and the society overall. And when it comes to languages, that means using some words and constructions and keeping clear of other. We'll be talking more about the positive sides of politeness in the future. But for today, we are looking at taboos. Taboos in language are topics and words that lie at the extreme low end of the politeness spectrum. Singing these terms around, you can make people feel embarrassed or shame. And so if you are being too polite, you keep them well away from your mouth. Sometimes these taboo words are just globally bad, never to use. But often, the words are only supposed to be said by certain people or in certain circumstances and never otherwise. In Hebrew, the true name of God was only supposed to be said by priests when they were blessing people in the temple, and other times or places they were not supposed to use it, and non-priests were never supposed to use it at all. But other sides of Judaic culture, that prohibition doesn't necessarily hold, and in fact, that's the way it is with taboos overall. And if every human culture has taboo, they are not always the same one. It's not like any of these things are actually bad. They are all important to be able to talk about. A word that's terrible in one place and can be fine in other. So if the Jews feel weird about saying the name of God, the Romans sure feel fine about naming theirs out loud. But across culture, we turn to find the same themes cropping up as language taboos, mainly body parts and bodily functions like sex, excretions, or that, and people are things that require respectful treatments like family terms, religion, race, and politics. Within these categories, sure you can find variation like look at the religion themes. In some cultures like we since you don't want to name and deities, and it can be like that is English too. Many people want to avoid saying Jesus, for example, but you can have it extend to other parts of religion. To say like in Quebec, France, some of the most taboo words are items used in Catholic religion service, like tabernacle or tabernacle, or calice or calic, or it can be extended to people related to religion as well, like how in Japan, one of the worst things you can call a woman is ama or nan. It's really bad. Unless it's within the religious context itself, no one is going to feel weird about you saying Jesus or Christ if you are in church to pray. The intent behind it really matters. In other cases, simply calling people directly by name can be really impolite. Language like Japanese use system of honorific to show respect for people. Dropping them entirely is very familiar and can be really rude. But if you want taboos or on name themselves, take a lot of at barrier, a language spoken in Papua New Guinea. Here, using the names of your spouse's parents is considered taboo, but in burial, people are often named after objects or animals and then give you some problem if you want to talk about anything that makes you in-law's names. So like say your father-in-law is named Pawe or crocodile and you want to talk about a crocodile you have seen, you can just use the word that off limits because it's his name. So instead you say beagle, which is a verb word for crocodile from a nearby language. Might be inconvenience, but at least you are not breaking any taboos. Of course, cross-linguistic influence on taboos don't end with word switching. Often, word in one language will accidentally sound like taboos word in other language. Look at Thai and English. If you are Thai and you know English and you are talking in Thai near English speaker, you might avoid words like fuck or pig, even though this just means sweet or chili pepper in Thai. And you may find it even harder to use other innocent English words like yet or k, because they sound a lot like Thai words chat and k, which basically mean fuck and shit. Even if they are not bad in English, they are still uncomfortable to say. The taboo's power is strong and we really mean it. And strong, the power of taboo can go really deep into our physics, and we can show this using the stroke test. So here the basic of the test, you show people shadows of word in different colors, and you ask them to just name the color the word is printed. So you don't actually need to read the word, you just say that the color the word is in. So try it here. Let's put on some of word, and you need to do is tell me what color you are saying. All right. Not it. Yeah, but let's see what's happened now. So this is actually used to show just how automatic reading is. The presence of a different colored word interferes with you saying what the color you are saying it. You cannot help reading, and that get you confused, so you slow down. So what does that have to do with the tabooers? Well, a psycholinguist want to look at something similar. So let's try test again. Remember, all you need to do is say the color. So these are not color words, but it isn't hard, right? How about with this? Way worse, right? Our mind can't help but read this word and process them, and then we get shocked. We get forced into having this reaction, and they slow us down from our text because they are so strong. When we learn a new language, we often want to learn these words first, either because they are fun or to avoid insulting people. We know they are bad, and so we are interested in them. But even if bad words are bad, sometimes we still need to talk about all this stuff, right? So how can we do that? Well, one option that's got a lot of history behind it is the euphemisms. Euphemism is a way to make use of indirect or pidgin language to make a taboo or unpleasant topic easier to handle. And we have a whole bunch of linguistic approaches to this too. One method is just to straight up change the word. Like we can just clip off part of the end. So instead of saying Jesus, we get Jesus, or we can abbreviate this. So we can get POS for pitch of shit or the F word instead of fuck. Or we can just mispronounce things and swap in different but similar sounding words, sometimes like gosh instead of God, or tabernacle instead of tabernacle. It gives you something new, but other times there may other word in the language like shoot instead of the shit, or fuck or flood instead of the fuck. So this the context tell you which is it is of fudge is probably the euphemism. I made you some delicious maple fudge. It actually fudge. We can also bring in other vocabulary that's more accurate rather than a weird substitution. Like you can use a medical terms like a sexual intercourse or glottis maximum instead of pudge. And you can use this pronoun and really on people to know what you mean. Like if I say Miles and Lara are doing it, you probably know what is it is. Or in Japanese, if you say Kara no asuka or he's here, that means by there is a pretty obvious. Another option is to use figures of speech instead. And let's look at the ones around that we don't like talking about that much and use them blunt if you are just like grandpa died. So instead we are underestimate like we put our cat to sleep. Or metaphors like we lose her to a car accident, or we try being obvious, like she's gone to the other side, there is all feel better and nicer than the strike up that options. Of course, the thing about euphemism is the ones that get associated with something bad. It's not really okay to use that euphemism anymore. In their disease, no one ends the euphemism treatment. Like, let's look at the personal hygiene. We don't like talking about where we go to relieve ourselves. So this place circles through names. Water closet turns to toilet and then to bathroom and then to restroom. Because no matter what word you use, that shines edge eventually comes out of it if you relate it to pooping. And it's just one of our taboo topic across language. There are a lot of things that we don't feel like we can say, and these taboos evolve over time as well. Talk about back on our website, but don't worry now that we have talked about it here today. In the future, we will stay within our polite limits. So we are reaching the end of the link space for this week. If you were not true of by the cultural language, you learn that all language have taboos word, even if the actual taboos differ from place to place. That there are times that we can find it, the kind of word that get rules out, and that to get around these restrictions, we use empathism. And if we need to change them over time, this link space is produced by me, Moti Lieberman, and direct by Edel Ellis Privis, and it's written by both of us. Our editor is George Columb, and our production assistant is Stephen Hartivis. Our music is by Shan Turns, and our graphic term is the Atelier Muse. We're down in the comment below, or you can bring this discussion back over to our website where we have some extra material on these topics. Check us on our Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook, and check out our store. We have comments, posters, and t-shirts. And if you want to keep expanding your own personal link space, please subscribe, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Petard.